we are back on Film Critic Life. Meg is back as well, now on as a creator as well, so that's so exciting. Yes, rebranding, decided that I can't deal with the monthly podcasts anymore, so we're just here when we want to be here and I feel like we need to chat. As I just said, we've got Meg here, so I'm just going to pass it over to for them to do their own introduction.
I forgot I would have to do this. I was like, we're just having a call. We're just going to be chatting about Thunderbolts and Sinners and
Uh-huh.
Yellowjackets. Um, and my name is Meg. I've been on before. Uh, what can I
I
not remember
know.
anything about myself now? I make short films and I make digital content in theatre. And I really love films and TV and watch way too much of it. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that sums
Like
it sums
you
me up.
got a degree in nerd.
Pretty
That's where you
much.
are. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
And
actually, I recently went back and through my I was sorting through my Google Drive and I found loads of
mm,
my old essays from uni, and there were like three Star Wars essays, and then there was like a Gone Girl essay, and then there was like a Film on Four essay, and it was just all there was like Doctor Who, Mamma Mia. It was just like nerd fandom and
what?
feminism.
Oh my God, I was way too like not. I was like, I'm not writing an essay about Marvel. So well done for doing that because I wish I did. Because looking back, I'm like, actually, to be fair, recently I wrote an article for a magazine about Thunderbolts and it was actually so much
Mm.
fun. So I was like, actually, I wish I went back and was more nerdy.
Mhm.
Um, yes, so I'm a big ass nerd. I am working in film, but that doesn't define that I do because I first love is just film and talking about film and talking about TV shows. So here we are. Yeah, so nothing. We are just talking. Going to talk about a couple of things. I think got Yellowjackets on the roster as well as Last of Us,
Mhm.
and Thunderbolts, and maybe a few other things that will pop in. And yeah, so none of it is just things that have happened recently, and we're going to talk about it. Can I just say, I just want to throw in first of all because this is like news that happened yesterday. Is Taylor Swift has got
Throwing.
all her rights back for her
Yes.
Don't. That was such a moment.
I had
I
no idea it was
literally
happening. I was really confused why everyone was talking about Taylor Swift.
no, I did not know it was happening, and I felt at work because the news came in because I'm still on the Swifty app, which was for her Eras tour. Someone like made it so you could do like so you would always get notifications when something happened on the Eras tour, and the
Love
notification
Swifties.
came up basically just going Taylor has all the rights for her, and I was like what like, and I felt like I was going around work, and I was just like going into every office just going Taylor Swift has her rights back, and just like shut the door. And they must. I honestly am just like the town crier because I did it as well a few days before just for Harry Potter. I just went around, just went, the trio's out, the trio casting is out. Just
I
like
love you as the town crier of Pinewood Studios, just running around.
the crowd over studios, and then obviously I then work out that half of the time it's where I'm working, and I was like, oh, everyone else already knew this like 3 months ago. Never mind. Because and then through it though, I because of the Harry Potter announcement, quite a few people on my Instagram were sharing it onto their like stories. So I messaged a few of them going, "Is this because you're a big fan, or is it because you're working on it?" And they all went working on it, and
Um,
I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like so proud. So I now know the code word. That's all I know for anyone NDAs out there. That's all I know. But I
yeah.
was very proud of the people I know who are on it, just because. I know there's controversy around Harry Potter. I'm actually not really for the TV show. We've talked about this on here before. I'm not here for it, but as a creator in the UK to work on it, oh my God. Like the vision, the just everything that's going to happen, and I think it'll just be an amazing project to work on. And also it's a long-term contract, which is amazing. So yeah, um obviously it ended quite a few weeks ago now, but Yellowjackets series three happened.
Yes. Yes, it did.
Hmm.
Um, sorry, I like
I was
zoned
like,
out there for a
that's right.
second. And then he said Yellow Jackets. I was like, I'm in. Um, Oh, I loved it. I know it's had a very mixed
Hmm.
response. Kind of, I've seen online and also people like in real life. Yeah, I know a lot of people have kind of said it's gone really insane and it's kind of
Yeah.
really exaggerated, but I like that. I really enjoyed it's kind of it's not camp, but it's kind of camp.
It's horror camp. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm there for the first four episodes. I was not enjoying it, and I was
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah. But the thing is, I held on because with TV, I sometimes find there's always a series that's a little bit slower, and then it usually is because it's building up.
Mm.
Um, so I kind of let it happen, and then and then there was that one episode with the cliffhanger of the frog scientists coming in.
Yes.
That's what hooked me back. I
Joel
was
from
like,
Community.
oh, I was like, what is happening? And I think I think my only thing with okay, this is just going completely into spoilers for people who are listening. My thing with it is Shauna, I would say, was kind of one of my favorite characters, and I still kind of love to hate her.
Mm.
Um, but I think the only thing that's making me go, this is a bit cuckoo, is the extreme that they have gone to feels so unrealistic that all the girls would still be okay with her in the present timeline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's I say the one criticism. There's probably a few
Hmm.
criticisms I agree with, but that's probably the main one that I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so so my stepdad had never watched any of it and I kind of coerced him into watching it. And now he loves it and has been watching
Yeah.
it without me. But I was like rewatching season one with him
Mm.
and in the back of my head, all I was thinking about was like how insane Shauna is in season three. And I was like, this
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to tell if they knew that from the start
Yeah.
or if it's, yeah,
I
I don't
think
know
there
how
was
smooth it
always
is.
with the because we obviously finally found out who the Antler Queen is. Is that how people name the person?
Yeah, the Antler Queen and
Um
the Pit Girl.
and the Pit Girl, and we finally found them both out. I was not expecting to find out the Pit Girl in this series at all. I was thinking
No.
it was a last final series thing. Because we don't really know how many series are going to go. There were rumors it was always going to be 5 seasons.
Yeah,
Now
that's what
I'm
I
like,
thought.
surely it must only be four, because I just can't see how this is going to progress from this point. Um,
Mm,
but I love that Natalie is a consistent queen. Like
yep, Stan.
Natalie is the most sane person. I'm actually kind of upset that I think her death, I wasn't mad at her death at the time, but now
Mm.
I really miss her as a character. And then as a side note, I'm loving the theory that they're all going to die from the hands of each other. I think that's true.
Ooh, like in
Because
mo
they
the modern
have.
day ones. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because they have. They've all died from the hands of each other so far. So,
I had
yeah.
not put that together. I love that. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't love
And
that, but you know,
but
yeah,
in the timeline they have as well, to be fair, like in because obviously the cannibalism situation.
yep, loving the cannibalism. Thaisa used to be one of my favorite characters as well, and
Mhm.
I think I kind of want to see more of her like craziness in the modern day. I feel like we've
Yeah.
got much more of that earlier on, and then now, I suppose because we were maybe focusing on other characters, but her and Van, Ty and Van, till I die.
I just love Liv Hewitt. Like I'm
I know you
obsessed.
do.
I love Liv Hewitt. Like, oh my God, they're
I
just
think you would marry them if you could.
I would marry them. Yeah. Like I can't stop looking at them and watching them and things. Like
Mm,
everything. So yeah, but Fan, that was a bit of I think we knew Fan was gonna go, but we didn't know how.
mm.
So that was a moment.
Can we, on this note, talk about the stupid backwards cap, Melissa? That white cap.
I feel like I need to get a cap and put it on backwards as like it was more I don't mind it in the 90s timeline because I feel like yeah, that
Oh
makes sense.
yeah.
But it is the modern timeline. She looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
It Also, I don't think the casting was great because the
Hilary
fact
Swank
that
Kate.
I'm sorry, I think it was just the contacts, and I don't actually think that they look that much alike. And I think
Mm,
all of the other yellow red jackets, yellow jackets was
wrong show.
so I don't know. Um, the casting is perfect, and I know it's probably because they were able to cast the younger girls to the older, and so therefore there was that. And this time they've had to do it the other way around, so maybe that was the issue. But yeah, I don't. I think this was the worst casting they've done. If I had to like rank the casting,
It's
um,
really random. I mean, I love
yeah,
Hilary Swank, so fair enough, but
mm,
maybe that's why they went with the hat because they were like, no one's gonna know who this is. So we
yeah.
just get the exact same outfit.
Can I also say like Lottie dying as well feels like it kind of just got forgotten like
Oh
quite quickly.
yeah.
Like I feel like even as a viewer, I keep forgetting that Lottie died. I'm like, oh yeah, like
I forgot until you just
they've
mentioned it. I was like,
gone.
yeah, we lost Van this
Yeah,
season. Oh, well, yeah.
yeah.
Though
But
I
this
did
isn't.
love from that we got Elijah Wood and Melanie Linsky in a scene together.
Hmm.
In a few scenes together. Love them.
Yeah. No, I don't. I think also with this last series is I'm kind of happy that for me, and I feel like some other people don't feel like this, but for me, it's cemented it that it's all in their head and it's not supernatural.
Oh, do you think?
Yeah, for me, it's not supernatural. Like, I really think the mining theory is true, if you know about the mining theory.
Oh, is it that there's like some kind of nuclear waste around and
Mm.
they're like inhaling it or something?
Kind of. So there's like I'm gonna butcher it. I should probably should pull it up. But
No, I want the butchered version.
so it's all to do with there is a lot of facts. If you look at the facts to mining areas, to what's happening to the girls, it kind of connects. For example, in the first series, when they find like the stream that's red, there's a
Mm,
mineral that can do that to water, and it's mostly associated around mining areas. But that it can sometimes create a gas or something that can make animals go a bit cuckoo. Hence the bear, and then also hence all the birds falling. Um, and it can make people just like see things and yeah, so it just kind of like and then the symbol that we have for yellow jackets, like the little figure of the
yeah.
person with kind of the hook. There's also like that being the mine and like a mining thing to be like this is a mining area, and then the cabin all makes sense. And then I think now that it's just Lottie is mentally at the end of the day, she was mentally ill before she went in,
Mm.
and because she hasn't been having her medicine medication,
She's not
um,
been taking a cow poll.
and she's not been taking her Calpol, then they've just gone cuckoo, and the girls have always kind of it's like that mass hysteria. They've always kind of gone along with it. But this last series, that is my again another criticism I've got is it's gone so extreme, and you can see that most of the girls and Travis are like, this
He's one of the
is
girls.
this isn't what's happening anymore. And then
Mm.
oh, don't that scene where they all realized there was a possibility to go home, and then it got dashed by fucking Shauna.
Shauna,
Why they all just
evil
need this is what
queen.
it's just that's what I mean about it's like this mass hysteria because it was just like tackle her to the ground.
Mm,
Take the gun off her. What's going on? Why is Natalie the only sane one here? Like it was just I found it so frustrating. But
mm.
I'm so happy. And I think that's why I was kind of really happy by the end because the girls pulled together and
Oh,
they
when there was that reveal of Misty,
oh
and I was upset
oh
because I am a Misty apologist till I
yes,
die.
yes.
Um,
Favorite character. I think
I
she's
I
gonna outlive them
really
all.
100%. Maybe she'll be the last one
I hope
standing.
so. I
I
really
mean,
hope that.
I loved her in the leather jacket. That is exactly
Hmm.
how I feel when I wear a leather jacket. Is like, oh, I'm not the type of cool person to wear this, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
try. Um,
I want to start a GoFundMe for Misty to kill Shauna.
oh, that would be really cool.
Yeah,
Do
the
we
only
think
way it could
Shauna's
go.
making it to the end? Or do we think any of them are making it to the end?
This is why I think there can only be one more series because there's only like three left. It's just
Yeah, who's left? So we've got Ty, Misty, Shauna.
Shauna and Melissa.
Oh yeah, Melissa. And then we've got Elijah Wood and Jeff
Mm.
and her kid.
Well, it's like Callie. I just remembered it, Callie. I just don't see how. I think for me, if they now do another reveal of another living Yellow Jacket, it just feels a bit every series they're just going to bring back to keep it
Hmm.
going rather than being consistent. And also, do you know there's about the drama that I haven't really looked into it too much, but apparently the older actresses don't really get on and they will keep getting pissed off when they're getting killed off.
Really?
Yeah, apparently they're never happy when they go. They're like, ah, for fuck's sake.
I mean,
Like,
I understand. I understand that because the young'uns kind of, unless they die like
mm,
Pit Girl, R.I.P. Mary, we love her. But
don't. Oh,
yeah,
poor
unless I kind of
Mary.
get it. Although, oh my God, did you see Coach Ben when he
Mm,
died? So apparently they have like death parties for the cast when they die.
mm.
And for his I don't can't remember the actor's name, but for Coach Ben's like death party, they printed out like the meme that's him, one of his like promo shots in the woods, and then it just says like fuck them kids. And they printed it out massive for his party. And then I think they had like a cake that was like his severed leg or something.
That was the only way you could do it.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
the
me
only
too,
way
one of
he was
them
gonna
death
go out.
parties.
Um, so yeah, the Last of Us series two has finished this week, wasn't it? So it's
Yeah.
finished late May. And again, we gotta go into spoilers. I was very, very shocked at how quick um he died. Like,
I knew that he died in the
yeah,
second game.
yeah, I knew
Um,
he was gonna
that
die,
was
but
all I knew was that he died and it was
yeah.
something to do with golf clubs.
Hmm.
Um, the amount of times my jaw was just like on the floor
Hmm.
through this season. Yeah, and I think I could be saying this completely wrong. This is just from a friend, but I think that happens like 10 hours into the game,
Yeah,
and I don't think you know anything about Abby or why she's doing it until after.
yeah.
And I feel like that is maybe more of a shock in the game because you're like spending a lot of playtime and then suddenly
Mm.
he's dead and you don't know why. Whereas in this, you kind of know from the very start, oh,
They're coming to get
someone's
him.
coming to get him. Yeah.
I think I was just because there was such a rumor that they were going to make the second game into two seasons. And I honestly was like, oh yeah, because they want
Mm.
Pedro to stay for longer. So I was just I honestly was just like, because I got spoiled even before I watched the episode. And I was like, what
Oh
the
no.
GP? Because I was like, what? And so, and it was it sounds so bad. It was satisfying. Like it was a good episode. And I think they did it well. But actually, no, I do have a criticism. I
Go on, lay
think
out.
I think it was too rushed. The episode itself was fine, but I
Mm.
think it was too rushed that I didn't feel the emotional because we've had the first series and most people don't rewatch the first series to get to the second series. And I think
Yeah.
because there's been such a big gap to then come back and then because Ellie and they're not as close as normal. Like Ellie's not
Mm.
in the house anymore. She's like moved out and Joe is just doing his thing. I feel like that connection wasn't as obvious.
Mm.
So when it happened, I just was so unsatisfied in that way that it just felt so like, oh, he's gone now. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
and I think because he's such the protagonist, co-protagonist of the show, it just felt so like anticlimactic. And I understand it was then like fuel for Ellie, but I don't know, it just didn't
Mm.
work for me. And I know a lot of people have like stopped watching.
Yeah,
now.
they dropped insane viewers, right?
Yeah. And I think that could be why. I think that could have kept going fine after his death, but I don't feel like they
Mm.
built it up enough for like for example, like just to compare it to like the most classic dad death of Sean Bean in Game of Thrones. We then rooted for Robb Stark to get revenge. And I
Yes.
don't feel like that's happened with Ellie. Like in the game, I think it has. Like Ellie goes, but
That's interesting. I suppose that's maybe partly to do with that kind of not having a lot of screen time with
mm,
them together before he dies.
mm,
And then also that we see Abby and we kind of
mm,
have that sympathy. So we're kind of seeing it from like an outsider point of view
yeah.
rather than in the game where you're maybe seeing it more from Ellie's point of view of like, who the hell is this random
Yeah.
group of people that have just come and really, brutally murdered him. I mean, and I did rewatch the first season before watching the second season, so I was like, "Ugh, it hurt." But also, I think I was more in shock, so I didn't really cry too much. It was the flashback episode with Ellie's birthdays that absolutely broke. Like I was sobbing through so much of that episode,
Yeah.
in a way that I wasn't when he died.
I know. But
R.I.P.
that's what I think then got people back because we were like, oh, we're going to see him in flashbacks. Um, and I don't know. I know there's a lot around the casting. There's a lot of, especially with Abby. And
Yes,
like,
I
I
have
don't know.
this.
I'm a bit in the middle because I understand that like not everyone's going to be like the game, but Abby needed to be Butcher. Like they just needed to be a bit more
Mm,
scary and like because it sounds so bad, but because she's so the actress who is it Kinley Dever? Like they're
uh,
just so
Caitlin
Caitlin
Denver.
Dever, like they're gorgeous, amazing actress. I love them. I have seen them in so much, but I was like, can you beat someone up that eat well with your size? It sounds really bad, but with your size because she's quite little. I
Mm,
think we needed an actress who looked like they could give force to kill
mm.
Joe.
I do think it's an interesting choice because so much. I mean, I will say first, the amount of hate that
Mm,
actresses like and kind of non-male actors have been
yeah,
getting for
yeah.
The Last of Us from the game, like from the get-go,
Yeah,
is horrible. I do think it was a really interesting choice for casting to
yeah,
keep everything very close to the game. Like everyone's builds are very similar, everyone's
yeah.
kind of looks, even if they don't look identical, the kind of
Mm,
archetype maybe is
yeah,
like the same. And then yeah, Abby's like proper like beefy, and she's
yeah.
like, I think
And also,
a thing of her
it's one of
character is
them.
that she's built up her
Yeah,
muscles. So
but it could also be like that was a representation that's now been removed, and that sometimes is an issue. And it's
yeah.
and I know Bella Ramsey is always getting hate, and I'm not here for it. But I know in the episode after when they find out that Dina is pregnant, the
Mm,
reaction. That's not Bella Ramsey's fault. That was the writers and the directors because a lot of
they are
people
just
just
reading the script.
they're just reading the script and doing it how the directors told them to do it.
Mhm.
But I was a bit like that has changed her character quite a bit with just how the reaction was to that news. Um,
Mm.
yeah, because in the game they're very upset and they're very like, you're an idiot for being pregnant. But in
Yeah.
in the show, she's like, I'm gonna be a dad.
I'm gonna be a dad.
And I don't know if just Bella Ramsey also just feels so young still. It just felt, I don't know, I just feel like the storyline feels a little forced.
Ooh, interesting. I
Mm.
find like I think they definitely have like a bit of a baby face.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that's kind of interesting because I think we're so used to seeing like 19-year-olds being played by 28-year-olds and
Mm.
like 14-year-olds being played by 25-year-olds. And there's
Yeah.
something, I don't know if it's also like a slight parasocial thing with Bella
Mm.
Ramsey because like I remember watching them in like The Worst Witch and like
Mm.
um Game of Thrones, and like I think they're quite a public figure. So it's maybe like
Yeah.
the Stranger Things effect of like you've seen it, you're not just looking at like the character of Ellie being young, you're looking at
Mm.
this actor that you've seen. Um
Maybe.
but yeah, I just think they have such great awkward like awkward butch lesbian for
Yeah.
older older Ellie.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So sad though. Ugh.
Hmm. Yeah, we'll see what the next series is like because I don't know how many seasons they're gonna get.
I think they're only doing three, I'm pretty
Is
sure.
that true? Okay. I know,
I
but
could
with
be
these
pulling that
sort of
on my
shows, if
ass,
it was
but
like really successful, they'll just keep going even if there's no material.
mm.
Um, oh my God, I didn't really mean to do this, but I was then gonna say, can we talk about the materials? And I was like, done.
Well,
Um,
get all of the Pedro projects out there. Let's
I
go.
just want to talk about it because obviously the trailer's been out for a bit, but they've just released another trailer. And I think
Yes,
the
I saw
main,
that in the cinema
yeah,
yesterday.
and I think the main, anyway, so yeah, so it's materialist. Is it materialistics? Materialistic or materialist?
I
Materialists?
don't know. All I know is Dakota Johnson's in it and Pedro Pascal
I'm not
and
mad at
Celine
Dakota
Song, who I love.
Johnson. I just love how they're all in Marvel. Like everyone's been saying that. They're like all three of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's Madam Web. And
When's
then
Celine Song doing a Marvel film? That's what I want to know. Past
um
lives, but it's
that's
Marvel
just like
characters.
Marvel characters. Um, I've not been so excited for. I feel like we're slowly going back into the era of rom-coms. I don't know if you feel in this.
I bloody hope so.
We have had so many good rom-coms come out the last few years. And
Mhm.
I feel like this is going to be another one. And in a way, it's nice to see Chris Evans because Chris Evans was in a lot of rom-coms in the 2000s, in like 2010, and he's
Mm.
just great. And I think the main thing that everyone is saying is if she doesn't pick Pedro Pascal, what is this plot? Because in the early all 2000s, and weirdly, Chris Evans has been in a film like it before, where
Oh,
he's like the kind of weird broke next door neighbor, and she ends up with him. And I'm like, okay, so I love you, Chris Evans, and I know your wife or girlfriend, I can't remember what way, is my age, so I actually have a shot. But
interesting.
I just Pedro Pascal is giving you everything. And if they just somehow make him seem to be nasty or something, I'm gonna be so upset. But he is giving you
Mm.
everything. Why do we need to go for the broke boy? Like, go for the man who has money and is
It's
treating
li
you well.
literally like here's Pedro Pascal. He's a billionaire. He's
Yeah,
lovely. He's Pedro Pascal. He's like this amazing charitable
he's
guy,
Pedro
and he
Pascal.
owns a penthouse apartment. Oh, and here's Chris Evans. Like,
It's like I love you, Chris. I do love you, but like, come on, like. So yeah, it's just like I just don't. That's my main thing. I just don't want to watch it and then like I need it to be a twist. I need it to be not a typical um rom-com.
I
What's my
have so
number? What's
much.
your number? That's what he was in. What's your
Oh,
number in 2011, which is like a rom-com, and he was in that. And
nice.
he's been in like Playing It Cool. He's been in a few. I feel like it's kind of his bread and butter for a few years. So it's nice to see him
Yeah.
go back. And Pedro, I don't think he's ever done one, and I think we've been calling for him to be in one for a while.
I mean, I'm super hesitant after I feel like I've spent my entire life begging for Andrew Garfield to be in a rom-com and then travel down to London Film Fest to see We Live in Time early. And obviously I knew it was going to be a bit sad, but oh, we walked out of that screening traumatized. And then Past Lives
Sorry.
is so freaking sad.
Do you think Chris Evans is just gonna die or something? She
No.
has to go with Pedro. Don't kill off Pedro.
Oh, maybe that will be it.
He just dies.
He's been through enough. We can't take another Pedro death.
Oh, and I just, oh my God. And like, I think the newer trailer that's come out is like going through all the money. of it. And I just
Mm.
like I know it's the point of the title, like being a materialist and that, but just go with the just go with the rich guy. Like, oh my God, I'm just not gonna be there for it if it doesn't go that way. And yeah. But like I
I
think
just,
it's interesting that we're going for the matchmaker as a storyline. I feel like that's very rom-com in itself.
yeah. I just, I love Celine Song. I love her work, and
Mm.
I don't know how, I don't think it's going to be simple at all. I think it'll have some kind of, I think if it was like an early 2000s rom-com, it would be, oh, but actually the rich hot guy was like materialistic all along and
Yeah,
didn't value her, and
yeah,
then the guy who had nothing was sweet and it doesn't matter and all of that. And I think
yeah.
Celine Song isn't, she doesn't make stuff that simple, and I think
Mm.
going to be something really kind of heartbreaking about
Maybe they both dump her. Maybe
it.
she's the material, and then they're both like,
Oh, I love
actually,
that. And then they
maybe,
hook up.
and then they everyone's like, this is my challenges. Just,
Yeah, I mean the marketing is quite similar.
mm,
Yeah, I'm
it's,
down. Our challenges didn't,
oh,
I know we've talked about this before, did not get the respect it deserved at the award season.
so
Like so many, but
oh, it was just a masterpiece in so many ways. Like down to the music, the editing, the storyline, the acting. Oh, why did yeah, it needed better. Oh yeah.
justice for
Justice.
challenges.
Just get out of the t-shirt. Um oh, should we the other thing that came out recently is Thunderbolts,
Yes, I was
which
like, is there another
okay,
Pedro project?
both me and you are both into Marvel
Yeah, hang
and
on, let me just put Grogu down because now we're moving away from Pedro.
yeah, hold on, let's
Bye.
just shove my thing and also just like do Marvel itself. Ta-da. Um,
Anyway,
anyway, we're going back into our YA era with the Marvel. I really have missed loving Marvel. I've missed it. Like,
mm,
I feel like I was such a Marvel girly. I was like, I can't remember what my role was on in the Marvel Society at uni. I think I was the No, I wasn't the secretary. Was I
there
the
was a
vice?
Marvel Society at
There was
uni.
a Marvel Society at uni, and I somehow was involved. I would go,
Incredible.
and I liked it because it was like we would always go to the cinema when a new Marvel came out, which was fun.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and like Marvel was just always such like it all built up to Endgame, and then after Endgame, I think it just all fell apart. It was
Hmm.
like because they made it too. You have to watch this to understand this, and it wasn't hitting, and um like For Love and Thunder, for example, was one I actually did go to cinema to see, and I was just so disappointed. I just thought it was so rubbish, and I can't really
Hmm.
like. There's so many reasons why, and I think it was like it was just a factor of many things of why this last phase has not worked. Um, so it was so fun to go back. I'd be like really excited, and I know there was a big thing with how the marketing's shifted from going
Mm.
just from a normal Marvel film to them actually going a bit more gritty and a bit more um showing less to show more in the marketing. So it
Hmm.
kind of made you enticed to come in, and also not so much on the characters' passes because I think the original marketing was a bit like we've got Bucky and a widow and all of these other people from all of these other projects, and I think it alienated too many people because if you hadn't watched Ant-Man 2 and um Hawkeye TV show, like you weren't gonna understand the
Mm.
film. And I think once they
Yeah.
took away that sort of like area of the marketing, I think it suddenly became more appealing.
Hmm.
And then it turned out to be an amazing film.
Yeah. I mean, I feel similar in that, like, I love Yelena in the Black Widow film,
Yeah.
but I didn't watch the Hawkeye series. And I was a bit like, luckily, I went with my friend who has seen every single Marvel thing ever and read everything. So if I didn't
Mm.
get anything, I could just be like, what's going on?
Yeah. What's going
And
on?
yeah, I really liked that you didn't have to have all of this knowledge. And I think people don't want that. Like I think I think back to the things in like this last phase and like kind of recent Marvel that I love. And it's things that like you don't necessarily have to be caught up, like WandaVision and like Agatha all along. Like you kind of can have a brief summary and go into it and have a good time. And that's what Thunderbolts felt like.
Yeah. And I think also what made so many people love the Avengers, I'm just gonna stick with like that, is
Mm,
and I will say like the thing is with Marvel is so many females like Marvel. It's not a boys' club as it used to be back in the day. Like it's and I think because found family is such a big thing, or like there are deeper stories within the fact that they're superheroes. And at the end of the day, it's a good film. And I think
mhm.
Thunderbolts went back to that. And a lot of people have argued that they're more of a found family than the Avengers ever were. The Avengers were more like
Yep.
co-worker cousins. They were like, and
Yeah, I like that.
yeah,
It's that
yeah,
emotional thread that the film went on, even if
hmm
the early marketing kind of went back into that, like, we've got this person, and
yeah,
big guns and explosions. Like, the film at its core was
hmm
pulling at these are these people, these are
yeah,
their fears and insecurities, and this is how they all come together. And it didn't matter what the backdrop to that was going to be.
mm,
Um, it just so happened that the backdrop was really cool.
yeah.
Um,
Their introductions were great. I think because like there was a couple of characters I didn't know, as in I hadn't watched like I didn't watch Ant-Man, for example. So I didn't know um all of the people who were in it from that. And
mm,
I don't think you needed to watch any, even Bucky and that. Like, you didn't know you need to know his backstory to understand this film because they were all just anti-heroes. They kind of explain their where they are in their life. And
mm.
I think the whole opening, kind of not the opening scene, but like the scene where they all kind of get together in the vault. And then
Yes.
it's very bonding because they have to work together very quickly. I think was just a really great foundation to the rest of the film.
Yeah, like throw these characters in together, have them solve a puzzle in an escape room,
hmm
and then you instantly see their dynamics, like without 40 minutes of, you know,
Yeah.
annoying
Oh,
backstory.
there's like so much that I want to talk about Thunderbolts. Because like first of all, I'm just gonna like throw things. So like
Do it.
Lewis Pullman is everything to me. I've liked him for he's one that you know when you like go, oh, I really like you, and then you kind of like have a hyperfixation, and then you forget. That's where I am with him.
Mhm.
I
And then it
really
comes back
liked
and hits
him.
you full
And then he
force.
comes back and I was like, oh my God, I forgot about you. It's like a weird ex that kind of the one that got away. And you're like, what? Like, you're back again. And my feelings are back. Ah. So yeah, Lewis Pullman, I knew obviously was in Top Gun Maverick and then was in Lessons in Chemistry. Lessons in Chemistry is what cemented my love for him.
I've still not seen it.
Oh, it you
Sorry.
I can't. It's so emotional. It's so emotional. And I love him in it. And his character is just so interesting. And oh, anyway. And obviously I love Sebastian Stan. Sebastian Stan is always my baby. Like I love and I was who was it? Someone said to me the other day, Pedro Pascal, Harry Styles, or Sebastian Stan. And I had to sit there for a minute.
Oh,
And I was like, is this love, marry, kill? Like, where are we? And I don't really know why I pulled this up. Well, actually, no, I do because my actual conclusion was Harry Styles because I'm actually never going to pull Pedro Pascal. I love him, but maybe he is a
hey,
bit too old. Maybe he is
hey.
a bit. I love him and I'm going to love him from afar, but I think I'd be too giggly with him. Like, I'm so bad. I'm so giggly all the time. And I just think I even had a dream the other night that I was at lunch with him for some reason. Other people were there. It wasn't a date. And in my head, I just went to my
Incredible.
friend. I went, act like we don't know him. And I couldn't look him in the eyes, even in my dreams. So that's why
That's
that one went.
incredible.
Harry Styles is obviously only a few years older. I actually feel like we would get on. He is an Aquarius. We are actually suited for each other. So therefore, that's how that is. Sebastian Stan, I love him. I do. I've watched so much of what he's in, but it's Bucky. It's Bucky. It's not Sebastian Stan.
It's not the actor.
If it was Bucky, Harry Styles or Pedro Pascal would be Bucky. So I really enjoyed him in this film, and I was so glad I was fed. I was like, as
Mm.
a Bucky girl, I was fed. I was like, there were so many moments, and
Oh
to
my
side
God.
to side
Sebastian Stan.
oh my God. To sideway it though is and hence why I think I kind of chose this is
Mm.
it's accidentally pulled back the fan fiction for me, but like not for me because
Hang
Bucky
on,
Barnes
you
is the
say pulled back. When we met up last year, you were deep, deep in. I'm not going to say the
that was
fandom.
Hermione, it's fine. But no, I do read a lot of fan fiction. I still do. I'm never gonna back away from that. But
Be proud of it.
Marvel fan fiction is really hard to find, and you always end up on Tumblr. It's so like weird. And so
Mm.
now because I've just accidentally ended up on this like Thunderbolts situation, we've now got, and if you know, you know, Marvel Tower fan fiction is back. And I'm so
What's Marble
happy.
Tower fan fiction? Fill me
So
in. I don't know what this is.
it's always like the in between of the missions because obviously in Civil War it's kind of like established that most of them live in the tower.
Oh, it's like the fluff, like the
Yeah.
roommate. I love it. I love
And it'd
that.
be like after a mission, he's upset because and yeah. So I'm like weirdly because now they're back in the tower, so it's like we pulled back this era. And oh my God, if I see one more fan fiction though, where it's like your gifts, like YA, YN or whatever your name, and it's like
Mhm.
your gifts are the same, but they're like of Scarlet Witch, but purple. I can't take it.
She's the
And the
purple witch.
you're the purple witch. And it's like the amount of times I see like TikTok edits and it's clearly Scarlet Witch, but they've just taken the red and made it purple. I'm here for it because
Incredible.
it's so funny, but like, yeah, I've never ever been able to find a good Bucky Barnes fan fiction. And I feel like this is the moment I'm going to put this on TikTok. So if anyone out there, this is a distress calling. Please, I need a good Bucky Barnes fan fiction.
If anyone is listening, Liv needs this.
Help a fangirl in
Get on
need.
AO3.
I can't keep doing Tumblr one shots, guys. That's where I'm
We're
at.
starving out here.
I need to be back in the tower. And please don't make it be that I'm Tony Stark's daughter. I can't deal with that one either.
I think it
But
needs to be the clip is just you going, I need to be back in the tower. Oh,
please. I've forgotten the girl's name, but the assistant. Like a lot of people were like, "Is there a thing between her and Bucky?" And I was like, "Did we just what fangirl cooked here? Like, what fangirl was in
this is
that
a
writer's room?"
self-insert right now.
Is a self-insert? You're his boss's assistant. But no, I think because if you were rewatch, I rewatched the clips and it's the way he's like, what? And then he realizes how he's like, are you okay? He was, but like I can't tell if it was
Oh,
because he's got a little sister, so it was like a little sister thing, or if he liked her. I can't tell. I'm like, where are
I
we?
mean, yeah, in the genre and fanfic as well, I feel like that crosses over in some uncomfortable ways. Oh, I mean, she was great. I can't remember the actress or the character's name, but the
Putting
assistant,
it.
I loved her as a character.
Mm-hmm.
I also love, I mean, this is on the same vein as Andor, which I will
Yeah.
chat
Yeah, we'll
about in a
go on
sec.
to.
But it's this idea that like you don't have to be a superhero to be a compelling character or to be a hero. You don't have to be
Yeah.
super to be a hero.
To be super to be a hero. I think that yeah, I think that's why like we like Black Widow because there's a few of them. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And I think like Hawkeye gets pulled in that a little bit, but I think we all forget that Hawkeye does have a little power. I can't remember if he does in the I don't know if he does in the show, in the
He just
films.
shoots arrows.
I know, but I think in the comics, because he's actually deaf, and I don't know if that's somehow if
Is he?
yeah, I don't know if it's something like like how Daredevil's like blind, but somehow he's ended up with powers. I think it's that sort of thing with Hawkeye as well.
Interesting. I'll
In
be
that, but
honest,
I don't
I'm not
think
into Avengers comics. Like I read like maybe some really early ones, but I my
mm.
knowledge is so
Oh
thin.
no. I just find out on like videos that someone's like, God, did you know? I'm like, no, I didn't. Thank you for telling me.
Is it the whole like, oh, I was reading this article and it's actually just a TikTok?
TikTok. Yeah.
I was reading in this
That's true.
article.
As we do a circle. Yeah. Um, but yeah, we could go on to Andor,
I mean,
which
I I feel like we still have. I feel like we could talk about Thunderbolts forever. So if you do
oh
want to,
so long. I just
but
loved it. I
also
just so
let me running
happy.
with Andor whenever you're ready, because
Well, I feel like my disclaimer before we go on to Andor is I feel like there's too many Star I'm a big Star Wars girl. I love Star Wars. There was too many for just suddenly there was too many Star Wars TV shows and I couldn't keep up. I couldn't figure out the time. I feel like sometimes I was watching them and I keep forgetting what timeline we're in and I was like, what's going on? Um,
right.
and then because of Rogue One, and Rogue One, I will say, is my favorite newer Star Wars film.
Ooh,
100%. I think
nice.
it's one of the best. I think it is because it's a standalone and it was made by a fan of Star Wars. So I think it
Mhm.
had a lot of justice to it. So I think when Andor first got advertised for series one, I was just like, ah, you're milking it for me now. So I didn't,
Yeah.
nothing in me wanted to watch it. But now series two's happened and it's everywhere. Like everyone's obsessed with it and it has finished, hasn't it? So that it now goes straight into
Yes.
Rogue One.
Yeah. So it was
Yeah.
originally, I'm sure I read somewhere that it was originally going to be like 5 seasons or something, and
Right.
then the creator decided that it was only going to be two.
Mm.
Um, I mean, I thought it was random. As much as I loved Cassian Andor in Rogue One, I was a bit
Mm.
like, okay, random character.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I'm pretty sure the first season was Emmy nominated. This second season of television, I'm not even kidding. Some of the best television I have ever seen in my life. If it does not get like noms and awards
Mm.
when that time comes, I'll eat my hat because it was so good. And the way that I will say, like the first season, I really enjoyed it, and there were some really good moments, but it felt like a little slow for me. And I don't know if that's because I watched it. I went through probably similar to you, a little bit of time of like not falling out of love with Star Wars, but falling out of love with like the Disneyfication of a million and one
Mm.
things to watch. Um, and I like during lockdown, I was like, yeah, we've got The Mandalorian. This is great. I'm having a
Yeah.
great time. And then I feel like I blinked and there's like 10 seasons with like a million episodes each to watch.
Mm.
But yeah, I watched Andor quite recently, season one,
Hmm.
and I thought it was good. It had some good moments in it, but I wasn't like, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then I watched season two and it blew me out of the water. It was incredible. And then I
Mm.
went back and I have now rewatched season one and season two again, and it makes season one better. Um,
Mm.
oh, it's just phenomenal. And on that thing of like, you don't have to be super to be a hero. I'm pretty
Mm.
sure we only meet like one, maybe two Force sensitive people.
Mm.
We only meet one Jedi, and she's on
Yeah.
screen for like 5 minutes,
Mm.
and it's all about the Resistance
Yeah.
and like all these different rebels and like all the kind of oppression that's taking place across the galaxy, and it's all based on like real life historical events, and it is just oh, it's the freaking best, Liv. You have to watch it. It's so good.
You are making like people are making me want to watch it. I think I'm still a little bit burnt because I really like The Acolyte. and it got
Oh, the
cancelled.
Acolyte was so good.
It was so good. And again, I think it was just that the first few episodes took a while to get into it, but I think there was such a good twist and it set it up in such a good way to then be cancelled. And I was like, that's not fair.
Mm,
Like I was like, that's not okay. Um, but then I think, I don't know, I think yeah, I think there was just too many TV shows. Was because we got The Mandalorian and then we got Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, Skeleton Crew. That's a TV show,
Skeleton
isn't it?
Crew, Akosha.
Okay, sure. Side note, I'm next door to a kosher.
Oh, cool. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Also, the fi new film is now above us in our office, and
A
I'm
new
really trying
Mandalorian
to
film.
know, has that been shot? Don't. If it suddenly is The Mandalorian, I'm gonna cry. I thought it was been shot. I think
I
Mandalorian's
don't
been
know.
shot
It might have.
because Pedro's now on Avengers, so I can't see it being that. But I believe it's the Ray film, isn't it? The new Ray film.
There's a new
There's
Ray
been a
film.
Yeah, they've announced a new Ray film, and I think it's going to be the last film that Kathy Kennedy does for Star Wars. And I love Kathy
Oh
Kennedy,
shit.
and I know she's controversial, but I love her. So I'm keep trying to be like, if she's above me, I'm like, can I go and say hello?
Will that be Daisy Ridley then? Is this like a
Yeah, because she's got
Ray
announced to
post
come back.
series?
Yeah,
How
so it's
have I
gonna
missed
could.
all of this?
I know. I think it was just because there was at the time there was just too much Star Wars coming out, so we were all like, what? But
Mm,
yeah, this Andor show definitely. I've been seeing more and more people saying that series two was amazing,
mm,
and the build up and like there was like a lot about how the characters were really good as well. But again, I guess it's just sad because we
yeah.
know what direction it's going into.
I think that's what makes it work so well. And I
Mm,
wonder if part of that kind of wanting to wrap it up in two seasons was partly to do with like fear of it being cancelled, maybe.
mm,
Um, but the way that they did it was basically they released it over 4 weeks, and
mm.
every week on a Tuesday they released 3 episodes, and then the next three would take place a year later. So it
Oh,
was
whoa.
literally leading up, kind of you had these very solid storylines and story
Yeah.
arcs that would wrap up in that kind of
Mm,
1 year timeline, and then there'd be a time jump by the next week, and then obviously
mm,
you know who's gonna die, you know who doesn't make it to Rogue One,
mm,
um, and yeah, and I think there's something about like knowing where it ends just makes
mm.
everything so much more like poignant.
Is it satisfying because with the original Star Wars, obviously it was all about the rebels and all of that. So is it more about that sort of side of it and it kind of gives you more of the insight away from the hero of Luke?
Oh, massively. So
Yeah.
like no one is really a hero.
So it's
Like
like the
there are
real
lots of heroes,
people.
but it's all real people. So it's
Mm,
all, without trying to like give too much away, it's all about people who are kind of being downtrodden by the
mm,
Empire. It's all about, some people are like Cassian, and
mm.
kind of it's how they join the rebellion and what they do in there, and like
Yeah.
going on missions or whatever. But then also a lot of it is people, like there's someone who writes their manifesto, and then there's regular people. Yeah, it's basically just like real people, and you have people who are
Mm,
fighting literally just for their like home planet, and then you have people who are fighting on a larger scale, and it just is,
mm,
yeah, it's phenomenal. It's about everyday people, and it's about people who are incarcerated and people who are um like having their natural resources like
mm,
being farmed, and then you do get a bit of an insight into the ISB as well, which is really interesting.
mm.
Yeah, it's such a good show.
Yeah, you are selling it to me. I will catch up. It's just like as long as I don't need to watch like all the other shows to understand it.
No, you don't. Which I have,
Shit.
as much as I love The Mandalorian,
Mm.
such a bone to pick with that, because that jump
I never
between
finished it.
2 and 3, oh,
Yeah, I
it's
never got to three.
I was the
Weirdly to say that
same.
I'm wearing a t-shirt and I love it, but I think it just got I was I find sometimes when a TV show comes out and it takes too long for another series to come out, and
Mm.
yeah, I wasn't there, but I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking I need to rewatch it and then catch up and watch it all ready for the film. But
Well, this is my thing is I stopped watching in season two as well because I was just
mm,
bored with it. And then I was like, no, I want to sit down and rewatch it when the
mm,
film was announced. And basically between season two and three,
mm.
because it was in the Book of Boba Fett, like 3 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett. So I was sat watching it like on Disney Plus, and it came to the end of season two, and then it was like next episode, episode one of season three. Clicked on it, and everything that had happened in the last episode had been like
Mm.
completely undone, and people were back together, and like I was like, what's going on? And I had to go to Reddit to find out that I
Oh, so you
needed
have
to
to
watch
then
the Book of
watch.
Boba Fett. And I
That
don't
again, I
Boba
started
Fett.
watching
I
it and I
don't want
think
to watch a series.
I got like 2 episodes in and I'm like done. But this is the thing, because Boba Fett is such a fan favorite, and I actually think they should have just left it because I think it just kind of made it awkward. Also, side note,
Mhm.
for my birthday, I did go to the Star Wars strip show.
How was that?
Yeah, the burlesque. It was called Star. I can't remember what it was actually called now. It was a play on the Empire Strips Back. That was it.
That's amazing.
It was so funny and good, and yeah, props to all the women. And there was a man, I will say that, who stripped off for me. That was great. Not just me, crowd of people, but
It was just you.
it was
The
just
entire show
me.
was just for you.
Yeah, it was great, and it was really funny, and you could tell everyone was in the audience was a Star Wars nerd. Like, oh my God, I was really expecting a lot of people my age to be there,
Mm.
and just like queer. 50s and over took over that room. Like, it was so like,
Interesting.
yeah, I was really shocked, but yeah, so that was great. And I didn't need to know any lore because it was literally just the OG Star Wars that happened.
Nice.
So well done. Um, yeah, it's just to show how much of a Star Wars fan I am. I do have a little Star Wars tattoo as well. Um,
Nice.
I just, I just think that some of it with Star Wars, when it's like a fan favorite or like there was a theory or something, I just feel like they've kind of like ruined it by making a TV show now, or like just going
Mm.
into it too much. And I love the new ones. I still love Force Awakens. Force Awakens was still such a good return to Star Wars. It was
So much
just
potential.
so much potential, and then what happened? Like, and it's so hard because as much as I'm such a Raylo shipper,
Of course you are.
I was for a really long time I was along the theory that I think it would have been a really good twist if they were brother and sister, which really, now we know what happens, is a bit like, actually I'm okay. um but
I was
yeah,
rewatching Phantom Menace, and it's when um Anakin is talking to Palpatine, and
yeah,
in my head I was like, your grandkids are gonna get it on. That was like all I could think. Because that's what it ends up as.
yeah, because she's a Palpatine.
Yeah.
I don't like it. And
Horrible.
I just think it
Worst.
was so stupid. Also, I saw, because of Comic Con happened the other weekend, and we
Mm.
both have had that, what, gone to it and been having loads of videos up. I saw this video that was like they were asking Star Wars fans their unpopular opinion, and this one just went, if you haven't watched the Clone Wars, you're not a real Star Wars fan. I was like, excuse me, the Clone Wars are such a lot. Really? Like, I was like, really? That's your definition?
Mm.
I'm against that. I'm sorry. I have watched it.
I
I was just saying I have watched it, but I don't think that's the defying factor. I think the reason Star Wars is such a good fandom and is because there are so many niche areas. Like, you could just be a really
Yeah.
big fan of The Mandalorian. You could just be a really big fan of the original films. You can be a big fan of the 2000s films.
Mhm.
You do what you do. There is so much material that I do not think, to be a real fan of Star Wars. Same with Marvel. You don't have to have watched every single piece of media that has come out. That's just a ridiculous
No.
idea.
I'm so over gatekeeping of being a fan. I mean, I think it's a thing that happens in all kind of like fan spaces, and I think it
Mm,
is particularly prevalent in like male dominated fandom,
yeah.
Marvel, and like I mean, you were talking about societies earlier. I was in the Doctor Who Society at uni,
Mm,
and I think I was like the only person there that was like femme and not a man. And I only went for like 2 sessions because there was like a creepy guy basically being like, well, I bet you only watched David Tennant's series. And like, I wasn't going to stand there and be like, oh,
mm,
I actually have a Doctor Who tattoo and I can probably recite to you every single episode of the
mm.
past 200 episodes. But
God.
like, there's such a weird, I don't like if I was a fan of something, say like
Mm,
Star Wars, and
yeah.
someone was like, oh, I've only seen The Mandalorian, like,
Mm.
or I've
But
only
you're a
seen
fan of it.
this. I really, yeah, like my instinct would be, oh, you would really love this other piece of
Mm,
Star Wars media. Like, it's really exciting.
yeah,
It wouldn't be to be like, well, you've not seen the Clone Wars?
I
So
know.
dumb.
But it's the same with everything. It's like Taylor Swift. Oh, well, you're only 13. How are you a Taylor Swift fan? Anyone can be a Taylor Swift fan, thank you very much. You don't need to know the deep lore of Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like, if you like her music, you fucking like her music. Like, it's so ridiculous. This gatekeeping situation over like fandoms. It's exhausting sometimes.
Mm.
Um, anyway, so yeah, going on to Sinners.
Another incredible thing you haven't seen yet.
I know. I was actually just looking if I because I'm going to go to the cinema tomorrow. I was like, maybe I should go and see Sinners, but it's like at the moment it's only on at like 10 o'clock at night.
No, I'm not even messing around. If you can see it in the cinema on a big
Mm,
screen, you have to do it. Like it will be a great film on a small screen, but
yeah,
you will be so annoyed at yourself if you watch it on your TV and you had the chance to see it in the cinema and you didn't. I
fine.
am telling you right now,
I'm
you
seeing a lot
book
about it.
it.
I feel like it's become a cult classic quite quickly. Like with, because it's not exactly a massive film. Like I was talking about it the other day, and loads of people were like, what? I don't know that film. So it's not,
Really?
yeah, so it's not, doesn't feel like it's become mainstream, but when people are liking it, they seem to love it.
I feel like it's all I could see from like all of my friends have been to see it
Mm.
and it's all we've been talking about and it's all I see when I like open up Instagram. That's really interesting that it's not kind of that wider.
I just look up at how much it's done, like box office wise.
It's done great for a non-series kind of like non-franchise film.
Mm.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah. 341 million. Which is a lot, you're right. I wonder what the budget was. Let's put the budget. Let's find the budget. Budget. 90 million, which is
It's
a lot.
impressive. Hmm. Honestly, incredible film. Um, yeah, I almost like don't want to say too much about it because I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
one of them
fun
that
going into it not knowing.
I've been seeing so many spoilery things, but I think I've been trying to avoid it so much. Like I think going into like obviously I know it's going to be about vampires.
Hmm.
I'm like, am I right? And I don't feel like it was really advertised in that way. So
Oh, so I actually didn't see a trailer before I went to go see it. So I don't know
yeah.
what much of the marketing has
From
been.
a lot of from a lot of like stuff I've seen, it doesn't obviously go, this is a vampire film. Um, but Jack O'Connell's in it, and that's like my one main thing that I do know. And then I think there was a lot about um Hayley being in it, and there was a bit of a
Yeah,
discussion around their ethnicity and such. Um,
yeah. And you've got Michael B. Jordan playing twins.
right. Okay. Do you like Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah, it
Again, I've
is
been seeing a
just.
lot of like him being a bit flirty in interviews, and I'm like, fair enough.
I feel like he's like that in all the interviews. I just
Yeah.
think, I mean, if you're Michael B. Jordan, you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah. So what is it that like makes it like is it the plot or is it like just how it was made?
Everything, every single thing. So it's about blues music,
Mm,
and it's about like Jim Crow America in the Deep South,
mm,
and it's about vampires, and it's about it takes place mostly over 24 hours, and it
whoa.
kind of follows these twins and their cousin.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, there's so much stuff it touches on. It touches on like this idea of like religion and faith and kind of how blues music was seen as like the devil's music, and
mm,
about kind of like following your dreams versus staying at home, and obviously all of like the racism in America of that time. Um, and like you see lots of different like characters from different generations and
mm,
kind of different ethnicities and how it affects all of them very differently. It's like when it finished, I remember thinking like, wow, that was incredible. But it made me like want to go and learn more and go and like read stuff by people who were smarter than me.
right.
Do you know what I mean? I like finished it and I was like, I feel like there was so much symbolism in there, and I only picked up on like half of it. I want to go and read what all of this means, and it was fascinating. And yeah, it has one of the best
Mm,
scenes I think in cinema
mm.
ever. Um, which I don't know if you might have had spoiled because I feel like I've seen it everywhere. Um,
I don't know. I saw Haley covered in blood
yep,
and Jackie O'Connell's character
yep,
and the banjos,
yep, and the banjos.
which was giving me vibes. Yeah, so that's all I kind of know going into it. So I
I mean,
don't.
I would say go into it like that
Okay.
because oh, just
I'll
there's
see.
this one scene
Mm,
and it's like a one shot, and I'm not even kidding. I like was watching it and my mouth was just open like, and every time it was like in this one shot, and every time something else was added, I just like my eyes and my mouth just kept getting wider and wider, and I was like, I can't believe I'm
oh my
experiencing
God.
this right now. It just is, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like the cinemas only are really showing it at 11 o'clock at night, and I'm not. I'm too old for that now. I don't think I've ever seen a cinema apart from like a midnight release. I've never gone that late to the cinema. So and I think I probably should have gone. The thing is, it was when I went to see Thunderbolts, it was Thunderbolts or Sinners. And I obviously went
Oh,
for Thunderbolts.
really?
Yeah, as
Mm.
in like they were the two films that me and my friend wanted to go and see. And yeah. Yeah. Sadly, I think I'm gonna go and see Thunderbolts alone by myself tomorrow just because lol.
Why is that sad? I love a solo
I
cinema
don't think
day.
it's sad actually. I do quite like going on my own. But yeah, so I don't know. I will it's hard because I do want to watch Sinners, but I think for me it feels like I saw so much hype and yes, I probably should have gone for the cinema, but I'm okay with just seeing it at home.
That's fair. I mean, I think you're wrong, and I think you'll regret it, but I respect your decision.
Fair enough. Um, but I think that's kind of it for this episode. I don't think there's anything else um for us to say or talk about, which I think
Yeah.
is normal and fine. There was something else I was just gonna say. Oh my God, blah blah blah, but I've forgotten it.
Did you forget it because I was just berating you for not going to see Sinners? That's
Yeah,
the note we're ending, is me being like, you have to
go
go.
see Sinners. Um,
And if anyone that is listening knows of any good Bucky Barnes fanfic for Liv,
mm.
drop it in,
This is a
email it in.
public calling. I'm stuck. I need help. I need some fan fiction.
Get her in the tower.
get her in the tower. It's like that's just like I just love Bucky Barnes so much. He's my baby. I just love him. Also,
I
petition for him
respect
to
it.
get a white cat because he has a cat in the books, in the novels, or comic books or whatever, And I need him to have a white cat. I just think it would be fun to have a cat. Yeah, that's it.
Hey,
That's the
I
end.
mean, maybe the moral of the story is if you
Mm.
can't find the fanfic you want, you got to write it. So maybe you need to write a fanfic about you and you and Bucky Barnes getting a white cat together. I believe in you, Liv.
Thank you. Thanks for that. And on that note, see you guys later. Thanks for listening. Obviously, always on social media, Film Critic Life. And I hope you have a good rest of your day when because I assume you're listening in the day. If it's nighttime, have a good night.
Sleep well, everyone.